There are so many pro aim tricks that pro players use that you and many other players don't. That's why in this video I will show you 4 aiming tricks that will set you apart from the rest of players, and by the end you'll be able to tackle every fight easily. Starting off with something many players pass over their heads and might think they got down, that is aim sensitivity. Aim sensitivity is a crucial factor in winning gunfights. You might have thought that you only change your sensitive once or twice, but something pro players don't tell you is they actually spend hours fine-tuning sensitivity. But now I'm going to show you a trick that will help you get the right sensitivity just for you. What you want to do is go to practice range, and then aim at a target. Then begin to strafe left and right, while keeping your crosshairs on the target. Now pay close attention. If you can't keep your aim steady, then that means your sensitivity is too high. Then you will need to lower the sensitivity. Now if you see that you can't turn quick enough, then sensitivity is too low. Then put it up a little at a time. Once you have found your sweet spot, then your aiming will be much smoother and instant. Center crosshair. Your crosshair placement is extremely important if you always want to make your first shoot. And this is something many casual and even pro players miss. So to have the most optimal aim placement, you need to keep your crosshair aimed at head or chest area height, where the enemies is most likely to appear. So what this does is reduce the time it takes to adjust your aim when you see an enemy in front of you. This is because many players that don't do this aim at some other parts. So when they need to aim, they waste a lot of time adjusting their aim and end up losing the fight. Pre-aim common spots. What many players don't do is to pre-aim. What I mean is many players wait to see the enemy to aim. And that's one of the biggest mistakes players make, especially in close combat. What you should do is pre-aim before entering corners and choke points. Now this will give you a big advantage. Additionally, if you know where the enemies usually are, then you should pre-fire to catch them off guard. This way you will have a bigger advantage on the fight. Finally, I'm going to teach you how to control recoil with something called recoil tracking. You might be asking yourself, what is recoil tracking? Well, first we need to understand how many players control recoil. What most players do is react to the recoil. And that is not the right way to control recoil. Right way to control recoil is to learn your gun's recoil pattern. You'll need to learn the recoil of every gun you mostly use, because every gun has its unique recoil that you need to master. Now I'm going to teach you how to track your recoil. So what you want to do is go into training range and pick a weapon that you mostly use and have the most trouble controlling recoil with. Next, go to a wall and fire at it without moving your thumb. This is to see the recoil pattern that gun has. Now you know the recoil pattern that gun has. So now comes the trick. Next, fire again. This time, move your thumb in the opposite direction of that pattern while firing. That's recoil tracking. So to master this, you need to do this many times on practice targets. And after a while you will memorize how each gun behaves, and it will feel like your gun doesn't even kick. If you found these tips helpful, then please subscribe for more videos like this one.